What's up, fishes? It's your boy Chillfish, and as promised, I'm giving you the top 5 decks that I think can make a comeback at this format. Now, this format's kind of been metamorphosis in a certain way. You know, just kind of coagulating, you know, it's moving around. We got some decks climbing up to the top, you know, like True Dracos are coming up. We got like seeing beautiful things like Spiral going down below. You know, we're doing a lot of this kind of thing. I know this is, but we're doing it. So these are kind of like my 5 decks that I think could make a comeback to this format. And what I mean by that is that these are decks that have been kind of edge of the tier. You know, like there's all the main decks. Then here's our guys just trying, you know, just they get 1 or 2 positions at YCSs, they get 1 or 2 positions at regionals, but they never get to like the meta pie chart, you know what I mean? They never get to like that big chunk in the pie chart, you know, Illuminati confirmed. They don't get that big piece. They get like 1%. 2%. So these are decks that I really think that are kind of rogue, you know, under the radar kind of sleeper decks that I do think can make some sort of comeback or splash in the meta. Basically based on not only their own mechanic, and basically several reasons why I picked these cards. One is that like they survived the ban list. You know, what cards did they not lose to the ban list? No, Trickstar's not in this video because Trickstar's has already been kind of a meta contender, so we're not even talking about that. What cards they not lose or lose to the ban list? Link format, how they adjusting their new support coming out. You know, if they got anything new that's really boosting their level, or just older support that really helps the deck. Monster Reborn helps every deck, so I'm just warning you right there. But there are some decks that can utilize Solemn Judgment a little better than others, and that's my top 5 pick right now. We're talking about Counter Fairies. Now, Counter Fairies, I mentioned in my last video with Solemn Judgment, got a huge boost with Solemn Judgment. If you have Guiding Area on the field, it's a free judgment. You can search it through the... I'm forgetting the loops again, but you can search it through either Minerva or one of the other... I think it's Matiel, one of the other ones. You can actually search a counter trap card, and you can add it to your hand and draw it with, you know, Demise. You have so many options here, and because you could get a free judgment, you, in theory, could activate judgment for free. This deck just becomes a little bit more competitive and a little bit more. I'm hoping to see it become... Now, this deck, unfortunately, since it's already not even in the pie chart, I'm hoping it kind of becomes like that 1%, that 2%, you know, viewed at locals or something like that. So I'm really hoping. I think that this deck could be pushed with that. Another thing, too, Monster Reborn honestly really helped the deck a lot because... well, Monster Reborn, and you can bring back one of your counter trap cards. You can bring back your Artemis to get the effect off. You know, Monster Reborn, bring back Artemis, chain some sort of traps, get that thing going. There's a lot of other options with that. Thunder King Ryo coming back could be an option for a little bit of a stun play. You know, prevents you from drawing. Prevents you from drawing as well. But you know, if you're going for a stun variant of Counter Fairies, which Counter Fairies are all pretty much stun anyway, you could play that. So honestly, my number 5 pick would be Counter Fairies. Number 4, a card that I do think that has been on the 1 to 2% range, which I'm hoping gets a bigger chunk of the pie. It's always been there, just kind of, hey, I'm still here. Hey, I'm still in the meta. Hey, I'm still in the meta. Hey, I'm still in the meta. I'm still in the meta. You know, this deck is great. It's, you know, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. It's ABCs. My boy Jay right in here, ABCs. Jay playing this deck since it came out like a year ago, I think. And this deck has continually dodged ban list issues. Let's get real here. And this deck has evolved and utilized certain techs to make it more meta relevant. I mean, remember when Torque Toon Gear was becoming a thing? The Destrudo build was becoming a thing now. The Dark Worm build was becoming a thing. I remember when Symphonic Warriors was an engine in this deck. So that I remember when this deck was running Brilliant Fusion way back in the day. So the fact that this deck has such a small engine of ABC pieces, you could add other engines to create kind of a bigger format or bigger impact. And that's why I think this is going to be coming away from the 1 or 2%, you know, like, hey, I'm right here. I was at YCS, I was at YCS, I was at this YCS, into a stable presence. And the fact is that ABC Buster Dragon is still one of the most busted fusions / card / boss monsters in the game. And Terraforming is still at 3, so that means you get your Union Hanger really quick. You know, back in the day, you could play with set rotation, get those combos up. Ancient Fairy Dragon plays are still a big thing with Destrudo right now. So you could pop one, add, you know, there's so many things. The fact that you have these options, this deck was ignored on the ban list, so to speak, because it's been only poking in and out. This deck could really make a big impact coming in this meta. And I really do think it's a sleeper deck. And honestly, this is number 4 because I'm not sure how much of the push is going to be, but I'm hoping it gets that next edge. Number 4 is another deck that I loved and I used to play. And actually, Kono Bandit has my deck right now. Cosmo. Now, Cosmo, I think, could make a comeback. Now, you're probably wondering, Chillfish, why is this number 3? They had nothing on the ban list. Their cards are still there. I mean, E-Telly is still at 1. Destroyer is still at 1. What the hell? I'll explain. And it's not just because Monster Reborn Solemn Judgment argument. I'm not doing that. For this card, it's because this deck has potential to evolve and move around in the meta. You can shift your focus to more of a dark build to play Allure plays. With the new field spell by Bandit Keith, you can do options. It's a little bit, like, it's not replacing your Cosmo Town, but it can do some stuff. You can run some Pot of Desires plays. Pot of Desires, unfortunately, I have a bittersweet relationship with it. I know every Yu-Gi tuber out there, from Team Samurai X all the way to Simo and all the other great guys. Shouts to all you guys, by the way. They say how great the card is, and I do agree. In certain decks, it is phenomenal. It just hates me. Like, I'll play any deck, and it will just not help me. It will banish all my pieces, or I'll banish all the combo starters. So, but this is an option for the deck. The fact that the deck floats and goes into so many things is also really huge. It is graveyard dependent, but you can play it back to the front. You can do a lot of other things, and Tin Can Turbo is still a thing, guys. So, long story short, that's why Cosmos are number 3 on my pick. Number 2, a deck that just got some brand new support. It's still surviving. It's another deck that has kind of been almost the same as ABC, poking in every now and again. 1%, one player's playing over here. One player, I think, played at YCS Prague. If you're not figuring it by now, it's kind of ridiculous. When you got God on your side, that's all that matters. If you know what I'm referring to, it's Lightsworns. Judgment Dragon is still a thing, guys, and you can still dump 3 Judgment Dragons in one turn if you wanted to. Boom, 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 or 1, nuke the board. Doom, doom, 9. You're done. Twilight Swarm builds with Punisher Dragon is a thing. The Dark plays, your Dark Light plays. The fact that also the new Link Monster did help establish the deck because it's a constant milling card, which is really nice. But one card that this did come in that does help a little tiny bit. I don't know if you've heard of this card. Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. This card is at 3. I don't care. People are sleeping on that card. I'm still playing back like it's 14, where it's terrifying. That card is still a threat. I'm waiting for Gores to show up as well. But 3 BLS, you can search it theoretically with the Noble Knight Link, which you could theoretically make with Lightsworns. Just run some, run some Warriors, run some Photon Thrashers, run some Goblinbergs with Raiden, and you could run a 60-card version, and I have no issue getting that card out. You could search it, drop it, boom, you've got issues. Ooh, it's scary. I love it. I'm really debating on building Lightsworns, to be honest. You can play a lot of... And the thing about the deck that makes it so powerful is that it can run from a 60-card engine to a 40-card engine, or even in the middle, and it's still devastatingly destructive. So many engines you could add to this. You could add the Brilliant engine. You can add the Predaplant engine. You can add, XYZ kind of engines if you want. The Lightsworns just are a deck that will stay continual, and I do think they'll make a big impact coming up this format. I think it'll be like top tier. I'm not sure they'll be top tier, but I do think they will be in the pie chart, probably a little more than 1 to 2%. That's a very old deck. A lot of people like this deck. So you're going to get older players who played Yu-Gi-Oh! Forever or played Lightsworns back in the day back into the current meta. It's just a good deck, and honestly, all around, lights have a lot of advantage right now. You can play you can play Triple Honest if you wanted to. You could play all these different cards. The only thing that really this deck does shut down immediately to is Light Imprisoning Mirror, or Shadow Imprisoning Mirror if you're playing against kind of a Chaos variant. But Chaos variants I think could survive. Your Twilight Sworn variants could survive. There's a lot of things that this deck could be capable of. You could make Omega in this deck too, and you have Minerva, one of the greatest rank 4s in the game. There's just options. The number 1 card deck that is coming back that I think should be back. It's a powerful deck. Cards are still banned, yet it always seems to find a way into creating something. Cue the terrible memes. It is Dinosaurs, Dino DNA, guys. This deck is still powerful. Granted, your Denglong is gone. Miscellaneous Source is at 1, which that hurts. That really hurts in my opinion. And Lithosagem. Oh man, I love Lithosagem. But with the new Overtex Cube, I'm just going to say, I'm going to try to pronounce his name. This card can make the deck really relevant. The fact that you still have Ultimate Kinetic Tyranno is a great boss monster. The deck is so versatile in its plays that you could add a big, hand trap engine if you wanted, or no hand trap engine if you wanted. The dinosaurs kind of mix around. You can play with the Double Evolution Pill. You can play with the Transcendence card because you can banish things to create things. You can just do a lot of things with the deck, and the fact that it's still powerful. You can honestly run a very tiny, because it's all banned, Zodiac engine still, and create a Mrs. Radiant just so you can make more plays. You can obviously run Dargonic Diagrams in the deck still if you want. Now, if you're going for more of a budget or pure build, I wouldn't, but if you free pop, you destroy the little, I always hate saying that, you pop the babies, and you create this field presence and these boards, and they're just strong cards, and you can go to other fun plays if you wish. You can do a Rescue Rabbit build if you want, and create a bunch of Megalomashers, If you already have a Link, if you have a Link on the board with 2 arrows, you can create Bahamut Shark plays with this deck. You could do Rescue Rabbit into Sabersaurus and have an Earth thing. You're gonna do that with Megalomash and have an Earth or a Water one. It doesn't matter. The deck is just very versatile. It's very powerful, and if you have Quaking Mirror Forces still from the structure deck, you could honestly have protection. Do that when you drop Conductor Tyranno, 1,000, all those things. Overtext Q just really helps out that deck a lot. Now, of course, you're not going to be using it to, you could, especially by banishing, but you're going to be doing the double evolution pill and some other fun stuff, and that just adds more plays and synergy to the deck. So, guys, those are my top 5 meta decks that I think that could come back in the 2018 meta, especially right now in February. There's possibilities. I don't know how much they are going to impact, but I do think they are going to be meta relevant. So at least watch out for your locals, guys. People are going to be playtesting this format as long as they can. And those are basically it. Are there any decks that I missed that you're thinking, man, this deck could be really good? Like, for example, Weather Painters get something new that'd be really good, or 6 Sam could come back, whatever. If whatever you guys think that could honestly make a really, at least somewhat of an impression in the meta. Like I said, most of the things came back from like the not in the meta to like Rogue to like, or something that could be like, you know what, this deck was dead and it's not gonna come back in full force meta, like kind of like we've seen with True Draco. Please let me know, comment, subscribe. If there's any of our videos, please check us out. We're trying to do more fun things for you guys. If you have any suggestions on videos you want to talk about, or any meta announcements, or any just discussions you want us to talk about, please let us know. Comment below. Skits or any fun things, please let us know. We want your feedback. We want to make this a channel you guys want to watch. So with that being said, guys, it's your boy Chillfish, and I'm signing out. See you on the next time.